Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a very crazy weekend of Premier League games, and nowhere best to start than at Stamford Bridge, where Arsenal looked like the home team. To be fair to Arsenal, it was a very interesting game. To be very honest, I felt Arsenal came and dominated from minute 1 to 90, and Chelsea were not in the game at all, or at no point did Chelsea look like a threat. And I think Graham Potter is going to have to take a good share of the blame. The lineup he put was not the best, to be honest. I felt he could have done better with the lineup and the team he put out there, especially in the midfield. The pairing of Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek was not really solid enough to go against Partey and Xhaka and Odegaard, especially based on the form and how Arsenal have been playing this year. So I felt Potter made the mistake there. You could clearly see Arsenal won the midfield battle. I felt defensively too they were solid. Saliba especially was immense today. Really nullified the threat of Aubameyang, and it's crazy, Aubameyang had this whole BT Sports commercial saying nothing personal, but he barely had touches in the game. I think I even saw a stat where was it Mendy or one of the keepers, someone had more touches than him or completed more passes than him, and that's appalling for Chelsea. Now for Chelsea, it's a process. It's understandable. It's a lot of things you're going through with a new manager, a new process, trying to get through. Like in the manager trying to find the right players for him, his starting 11, and then also mixed with a couple of injuries to key players like Reece James, especially, who is very, very key to what Chelsea do. But looking at it, I felt on the balance of play, Arsenal deserved to win. What was funny was the goal they scored was actually one of the, like, I'd say it wasn't the goal that they deserved to score. I felt like they had a couple of chances they could have, especially Gabriel Jesus. He's a player who's been struggling, for goals, but I still think you see what he does for the team. He still works hard. He still creates for teammates. He's still involved. So that's the least you can ask for. In with a player like that, it's just a matter of time, and then goals will come through for him. So all in all, good doing for Arsenal. They came, dominated, and they showed you why they're actually top of the Premier League table. I feel like when it was 5-6 games in and Arsenal winning games, people were like they hadn't faced a test, and then they faced United and they lost. Everybody was like, oh, Arsenal, this and that, this and that. Like when they faced United, they flopped. And then they beat Liverpool and Spurs. Everybody was like, oh, that's at Emirates. But now they actually went away and beat Chelsea. And don't get me wrong, Chelsea are not in the best of form. But it's one thing for Chelsea not to be. It's also another thing for Arsenal to take advantage of Chelsea's poor form, because that's one thing people don't do a lot. Teams don't do a lot. They don't take advantage of people's weaknesses or downtimes. And in the league, you have to. So kudos to Arsenal. They came 3 points, solid performance, clean sheet, and they deserved it. Now the next game was Villa United. Coming into the game, I wasn't so confident, and I'm not. Funny enough, normally after losses, I'm normally down, but I wasn't so down about the results today because I kind of expected it. We went to Sociedad on Thursday, and we gave it all we had. A lot of these players ran. We played a lot of games, and October too, we played a lot of games. So I was kind of coming to a game. I remember speaking to one of my friends. I was telling them, like, the fatigue coupled with the fact that it will be Emery's first game, new manager bounce, and all of that. I think Villa could do something. And before I realized, first 10 minutes, 2-0 down. I think Lisandro Martinez had a shaky game today, but that's okay. Like those performances will always come and go. I also think the partnership with him and Lindelof, although it has had some good rewards, it's not the best because I feel like Licha had grown some sort of understanding with Varane at the centre back partnership, and what Lindelof and Maguire bring does not help Licha a lot. For example, the first goal, Lindelof was out of position, so now Lisandro finds himself having to be the one marking Leon Bailey, who ends up scoring anyway. But all in all, we were poor. Nobody really came and looked on it like they wanted it. I'd say Ten Hag has some of this to take. I'd blame him a bit for this because I don't even think Emery did anything special. It was just more of like a new manager bounce, and also like Villa not playing anything, we being very tired, because I felt this was not the type of game for Van de Beek, especially for a player who has not had a lot of games or who's not as like who's rusty. You'd want to play a player like that if we were winning the game 3-0 and we had 30-20 minutes to go. You can be bringing him on in games like that where he could be getting a rhythm and then beginning to get on the pitch, getting used to like getting match fit and all of that. But playing him in a game that was a must win for a player like Van de Beek, you know, and he offers nothing. He offers nothing. Like sometimes that's why I've always been a big fan of Bruno. Although some people don't like Bruno, I'm like he makes things happen. Yes, he's gonna lose the ball, but he can make something happen. Van de Beek makes nothing happen, and you question Eric Ten Hag's decision to leave Fred on the bench because Fred is a player who's been playing games. He's been playing decent. He's been playing well. He had played very well against Spurs, and he's a player who will actually bring in energy, which we were lacking because we were actually very fatigued. So I was thinking we'll have Ericsson in number 10, and then Fred and Casemiro playing, behind Ericsson. So it was shocking when I saw the lineup. And also one other thing is, I think our managers have to settle down and learn that Rashford cannot play on the right wing or strike. The only way Rashford is effective for United is on the left wing. The rest of the positions he can do a little job here and there, but you're going to get literally 2/10s, 3/10s. If you want to get the best out of Rashford, he has to be on the left. Yes, I think when he brought on Elanga and stuff, Rashford moved to the left. He didn't really do much. He had a bad game today, but all in all, it was a bad team performance. There wasn't like someone played well or something. Like Casemiro did his thing. He was decent in midfield and all of that. But I mean, you could also say where was he for the third goal? You know, someone a late run into the box from someone and then they score. So, but all in all, I mean, we're always going to lose games. It's part of the process, and I think sometimes it's just tough to swallow when these defeats happen. But it's normal for us to lose. I think we just have to rest, and at least Bruno would have been rested. Dalu suspended for next week's game as well. So that's just what it is. And Ten Hag is going to have to work on, I think, his squad rotations. We've been getting results, but the rotations, he's not really rotating the squad well enough to kind of find a balance. For example, I'm not sure he would have benched Bruno today, but he was forced to. So that was like that was good to see. And credit to Villa, 3 points. I think they earned it. I didn't think they really played well or whatever. We're just tired and we weren't really on it today. If I was being honest, 'cause I felt like if we didn't play the midweek game or we didn't have anything to play from the Europa League, we wouldn't have put so much energy into that game. And what hurts is that we didn't get what we wanted from the that game too. So that's what kind of hurts as well. The next game was the Spurs and Liverpool game. Now, it was a very shaky game because both teams had been on some. I mean, Spurs, they had been winning games. They've been coming back to win games. They came back to win against Marseille to top the group in the UEFA Champions League, and then they were down 2-0 to Bournemouth, and they came back to win 3-2. And Liverpool had been on shaky form. They beat Man City, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, maybe they could start doing something." And then they went and lost to Forest and Leeds back to back. But credit to Liverpool, they came, and I felt in the first half they were definitely the better team. I felt Spurs aren't really on it. I don't know why. And sometimes if you're a Spurs fan, you question Conte because look at the second half and you see how Spurs actually attacked when they were down. And then you question Conte like, why don't we do this when we're 0-0, like when the score is 0 so that we can get an advantage, because it doesn't help us to be chasing the game and being forced to do these things. But that's up to Antonio Conte for him to change some things. On the bright side of things, I felt Perisic was good today for them. I felt Kulusevski also came in and gave them some good solid minutes in production, even gave the assist. And Spurs in the second half were very good. But if you're Conte or if you're a Spurs fan, you'll be questioning why, like, not Conte, but if you're a Spurs fan or a player, you question why you guys can't have this energy from minute one, why you guys can't attack like this from minute one. You have to wait to go down. So yeah, Liverpool came on. I mean, there were a couple chances for a couple more goals, but I mean, I don't know. The credit to Liverpool, they've been struggling. They've had a tipsy. I don't know, is it topsy turvy, whatever the term is, but an up and down season, and they were able to actually make something happen. And they got 3 points, so credit to them. And now I think they are now 1 hour 4 points ahead of them, and I think they are 3 points behind Chelsea. So if they can build on this run, that would be nice. But I mean, they'll have a game next week, and then we have the World Cup coming through. So that was that for today. Yesterday we had Man City play Fulham, and in all fairness to Fulham, I felt they gave it a go. The red card definitely helped them, but they were very very unfortunate to concede a penalty late. And that's when you have a striker like Haaland. Yeah, although it was a penalty, when you have a striker like Haaland, just know that when you are down, he could always get you out, because he had already scored a chance about 15 minutes earlier, which was ruled for offside and all of that. But the signs were there that City could easily win the game, though they were 10 men. And I felt Fulham, although they did well, they didn't get a result. So that's okay. I mean, the table is beginning to shape up in a way you could actually see where each team would be. And if you're looking at things now, you can see that if you're Arsenal, at the start of the season, all you wanted was top four, and you guys are top of the league, most likely in top of the league going into the World Cup. That means you should be thinking your top four spot should be guaranteed this year. And I mean, I even think they are looking at the title, but I don't think they have what it takes to run the long or to go the marathon with City for the title. The top four is shaky, but another team that's really caught the eye of everyone this year is Newcastle for sure, and definitely the form of Miguel Almiron. He's been on a very good. I think he scored like 7 goals in his last 7 matches, and Newcastle have been the best defensive team in the league. They don't concede goals. They rarely concede. And today they beat Southampton comfortably, who ended up sacking their manager Ralph Hasenhüttl. This is a manager who has been on the verge of the sacking of the sack, been on the verge of the sack for a very long time, but he's always survived. But I think today his cup was full today, and Southampton moved on from him because now the way the league is shaped up, there's literally no easy games. Like back 2, 3, 4 years ago, when you were playing teams like Huddersfield or even Fulham back then, you were like, oh, those are guaranteed 3 points. But now, even when you're playing like Fulham, you're going to have to work for it. Look at Man City, they had to work for it. Yes, they were 10 men, but even at that, like Fulham are a good team. They can actually play good football. They create chances, and also Fulham didn't have Mitrovic. You know what I'm saying? He's literally their main player. He's integral to anything they do. I felt like he was around in the last 20 minutes. If it was 1-1, they would have been crossing a lot of balls because Mitrovic threat in the air is unmatched. So yeah, congrats to Man City. I mean, I think now they're on 32 points. Arsenal 34. And the rest of us are now 26 or whatever, 23. But I mean, the top four is shaping up. Newcastle looking good. Palace beat another news. Palace beat West Ham with a late winner from Olise, and that's weird for West Ham, especially. Looking at how they were last season, it's like they are not consistent. It's a bit inconsistent, and especially when they were home, they had a 1-0 lead. You don't expect them to bottle that to Palace, but I mean that's a game that could go either way. So that was fine. Everton lost to Leicester 2-0, and I've got to give credit to Brendan Rodgers. Leicester have had a very poor start to the season, and could have easily sacked Rodgers. Let's be honest, I think they would have sacked Rodgers if not for the financial implications of sacking him. So they kept him, and now it's beginning to reap some good rewards. The defense is looking a bit more solid. They're keeping some clean sheets. The team is playing more together, and there's a better balance. That's the term. There's a better balance in how they are playing. I think we're beginning to see what their future is going to look like, and it's nice now. They are literally that guy is their main guy now. They're phasing out Vardy, and now Vardy comes off the bench. And it's not a bad option to have on the bench, because Vardy can still give you 10 goals a season. Let's be honest. This is a player who led his team to a Premier League title, believe it or not, with Leicester. As an underdog. So good for Leicester. What other games did I think Wolves played Brighton? Brighton won that game 3 goals to 2. A lot of goals in that game as well. And I think Nottingham, Brentford. I think Nottingham were unlucky to have considered. Was it who considered in the last minute? Was it Brentford who considered? Someone considered to go in the last minute. I can't really remember. But yeah, all in all, good weekend. I think the winners this weekend were Arsenal and Man City, especially because, and I think yeah, Liverpool definitely because Chelsea dropped points, United dropped points, Spurs dropped points. So and the top 6 race is always going to be the top 4 race is going to be crazy. So for Arsenal that's good, for Liverpool that's good. Can they build on this? For Liverpool that's the question. For United, can they bounce back? For Spurs, can they find a way to start playing more on the front foot rather than always waiting to go down before playing on the front foot? For Chelsea, can they figure out their starting 11? Can they start playing as a team together? Can they figure out what works for Aubameyang and what works for Sterling? Because I feel like yes, these players have weaknesses, but it's also down to the manager to be able to hide their weaknesses, just like Pep Guardiola did for Sterling at Man City. So we weren't really seeing a lot of his weaknesses, but the truth of the matter is Sterling has a lot. I personally believe you can't play Sterling and Aubameyang in the same team because those are two players who can't create for themselves. They need someone, and in modern day football, you need like creators, a lot of creators. You can have one player who doesn't create, and even at that, it's always a problem. And that's kind of what United are facing with Ronaldo, because Ronaldo can't create for himself. We have to create for him, and we struggle to create for him. So sometimes it doesn't help. For example, and today was a prime example. So yeah, that's basically all I have for today. I think it was a great weekend, and then yeah, we see what happens next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.